World of Warcraft expansion revealed. Now, I wonder if it's going to be World of Warcraft Dragonflight, as has been confirmed, like, not confirmed, but leaked, like friggin', I don't know, half a year ago or something. Weren't people talking about Dragonflight half a year ago, I say? So you guys already know that what my biases are. Because, like, a lot of people will tell, oh, I'm going to be unbiased about this. Like, look, nobody's unbiased. Nobody. It's just not a thing. Anybody who tells you that they're unbiased, they're probably trying to sell you something. They're probably trying to sell you on something, trying to deceive you on something. Everybody's biased. I am going to try to come into this with an open mind. So we'll see how that works out. So let's check it out. So I'm going to be skipping the pre-stream thing. Although I'll tell you what, that's really cool music. It's been a while since I've heard that one. Okay, let's go. Wait. Let me just see some. Blood and gore, crude humor. No, you removed that. You removed the crude humor, remember? When you deleted like half of the jokes in the game? Yeah, you removed that. Suggestive themes, you removed that too. When you replaced women with fruit bowls. Mild language, you removed that too. Use of alcohol, I guess that's still a thing. And violence, yeah, sure. But like crude humor, mild language, and you can remove these. These are not in World of Warcraft anymore. These are just not in World of Warcraft anymore. What are you talking about? Varian. Probably the only character I care about in this whole trailer. No, Arthas is there too. And the Dwarven Hunter.
For the Alliance!
I mean, here's another thing, right? Like, we talk about how the factions are unbalanced. I mean, let's just really take a cold look at this. How can the factions not be unbalanced? I mean, look at this. On the one side, you have this kid screaming for the Alliance. This kid that wasn't able to do almost anything right during the Shadowlands. Alliance! And then on the other side, you have her. I mean, it's not like she's a great character, but at least she looks the part better than that little kid. Of course they're using old stock footage. There's no new footage in World of Warcraft. See, now there's a good character, and they killed him. That was like one of the best characters in the game. And notice how he said for Azeroth. That's right. He's the only good one. Dude, you guys know that during that Legion cinematic, I was actually like, you know what, man? That was actually, I liked Varian. Let's just put it like that. I liked Varian.
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazacostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft.
Dude, the vibe in this recording, Jesus Christ. It's like, look, I noticed these things because, I record podcasts and stuff like that. So you read people's expressions, and the vibe in here is so incredibly awkward. Like, right now, none of these three people wants to be here. None of them. Like if you would actually get like a behavioral analyst to look through this footage, because I'm not an expert. It's like, this is just me going off of my gut feeling from, having been in multiple podcasts with multiple different people and just like reading the room. And it's like, none of these three people want to be here. Not a single one of them.
Give you updates on what's happening.
Like, look at this face. She's like killing herself trying to smile right now.
Warcraft.
And
But
Ian
first,
is
I
just
wanna
like,
thank our
yeah.
community for all
Get
the
on with it.
feedback you've given
Yeah.
us
Look,
this year,
yeah.
And especially our
Yeah.
community council. You've helped shape and
Yeah,
the
for sure.
updates that we've done recently.
Yeah.
and what you're gonna see in the upcoming year.
Yep.
Really, for Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them, and us realizing as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard, and so that led us to the changes we made in 9.1.5, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems.
Dude, the simple fact that they're talking about this is a very good thing.
And I think 9.1.5 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said?
We really built our 9.2 update around those principles. Did you? You mean, where was it? Give me a second. You mean this thing? Where like some of these upgrades took like 18 hours and 20 hours and fucking whatever, so you had to grind the resources to do it, and then you had to like wait for fucking hours upon hours in order to get it, and you still had the fucking renown system. It's like, ooh, we're like fucking 2 minutes into this, and they're already blatantly lying to our face.
That influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.1.5 into Eternity's End and beyond.
So they're blatantly lying to you 2 minutes into this presentation. They are blatantly lying to you 2 minutes into this presentation. Because, see, I was optimistic when they started talking about the thing at the start, and they were going like, oh, yeah, I mean, we're all for the players, and this is all for the, we admit that we kind of like missed the mark on some of these things. So I was like, that's a good thing. They're admitting that they messed up. And now they just turn around and they're just like, so we changed things in 9.2 and we made it way better for everyone. I'm just like, what the fuck? What? Oh my God, dude.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it, and we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic
You should be fucking
formed
game developers.
and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it.
The fuck
and
was that
turned,
jump cut?
It started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around.
Yep.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
Which I've heard that some players lost their iron mode because of like invisible mobs.
Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So influence the community, you've got another update, and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 925, which is on a public test ROM now as a big
Ian,
centerpiece.
cross-faction. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, you know, and I think this is another.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sit through all of this. Jeez, it's actually painful. What the fuck, dude? It's like, can you be honest for just for 1 second and just admit, yeah, we had to do cross-faction because nobody's playing fucking Alliance. Because literally nobody is playing fucking Alliance. Not even the biggest World of Warcraft streamer was able to field a proper raiding team on the release of the fucking content on one of the most popular Alliance servers. What the fuck? Like, I'm not even exaggerating here. Literally the most prolific World of Warcraft content creator wasn't able to fucking field a proper raid team on the release day of the content in Alliance. That's why you had to. Oh my god, dude. Fucking end me, dude.
We try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still feel like we're being true to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of.
Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, but like admit your mistakes.
Play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day,
is it that rough? No, it's worse.
It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about pride in one's faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, you know, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going
suddenly
to be
come out of the
into
woodwork.
something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And, you know, we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next, and what will come next, want to give, you know, a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans have asked for this for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW. So without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
Dude, you know what I just realized as I was watching this? Like, this used to mean something. This right here, when you saw this screen, like, let's say about 10 years ago, when you saw this screen, it fucking meant something, dude. Like, it basically, like, it almost, in a way, watching it, it still almost, like, gives me, you know, little butterflies, even though I can recognize now this, like, nah, forget about it, this is whatever, right? But like back in the day, just like watching this, you knew that you were in for hours and hours of good time. And you watch it now and you're like, okay, show me what shit show you've been doing now. $10,000 ago.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers. Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tyrhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Ooh. Oof. He's gonna manually do it. Poof. The dragons are coming back. So this is yet another landmass that none of us ever found.
Is healing. But her fate is yet uncertain.
Floating islands.
We shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
Okay.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw it coming.
No one saw it coming.
That was an I'm not even talking about the joke. They're like, oh, nobody saw it coming. Obviously, that's a reference to the fact that the shit leaked like God knows how long ago. The thing that I find hilarious about all of this is the attitude that they come in here with, where it's just like, oh man, game's doing so bad, game's doing terrible, we got to get people back into the game. What are we going to do? Everybody loves dragons, right? Dragons! Y'all like dragons, right? It's got the same energy as when they were announcing Diablo Immortal. They were like, y'all have phones, right? Y'all got phones. It's literally the same energy. It's like, dragons! Everybody likes dragons, right? Everybody likes dragons. It's the same energy. Oh my God, dude. Dragons! It's like...
Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean,
oh
what did
man.
you just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off, is that
Tears
summoning
beacon.
the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles?
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to.
As kept standard, it's 5 leveling zones. They're just listing the features. Go ahead.
Also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles?
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones.
5
4
zones?
standard leveling zones.
4
and a
standard
new
leveling
starter zone
zones?
that we'll get to
New
in a
starter zone?
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
Dude, this is... oh my... You people are incapable of having a normal fucking conversation. Like, does anybody actually think that there wasn't a briefing where all of these things were revealed to these people? And they're trying to act as if like, oh, I don't know. Ian, can you tell me about this? It's like Ian fucking knows. He fucking knows. And you know. Everybody knows. You all know. Like, this is like on the level of like those Division fucking comms that they had. Guys, remember those staged Division comms when they were, you know, announcing Division? They were just like staged gamer conversation. Fuck me, dude. You guys cannot talk like regular fucking people. You got so much corporate up your ass that, oh my God. Fucking quit, dude. Oh man, this image of you have paused on is gold. That's a man who's fucking depressed. He's on a downward spiral. Look at the amount of hair loss he's having. That's from stress. Is he painting his hair? There's no way his hair is black naturally like that. Embrace it, Ian, like me. Look at how fucking bald I am, dude. Just fucking embrace it. Just embrace it. Faruria, thank you very much for the bits. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you very much. He's combing it over.
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure span.
This looks really
each
cool.
Each one of those has a connection to a Dragonflight that we've seen before. And it's going to be an amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
All right, you know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay,
Can,
so...
can I be a dragon?
Let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Dracthyr race.
Yeah.
This is a draconic race, but dragons in Warcraft have the ability to take on a humanoid form.
What classes can they be?
They have unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft, and not just an allied race, is something that we don't do lightly. but telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it. So if you are a Dracthyr, you will be the evoker class. Dracthyr can only be evokers can only be Dracthyr. And the reason why only a Dracthyr could be an evoker is that an evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Dracthyr has, the ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side, knock everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either range DPS or healer. And they wear mail armor. We figured, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee, we don't need more of those. And also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are gonna love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58. And then they're gonna have a new starter zone. So they're gonna have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Dracthyr character?
Basically anything and everything. Skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
Yep.
new race. Well, tell us.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Dracthyr character?
Basically anything and everything. Skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity.
I don't think I even have to say anything. Do I? Do I need to say anything? Like, I want you to understand that this is not like a randomly, like, they didn't just like hit random and go. This is what they consider to be one of the best examples of how this new race can look. Now, listen, Kegrin, I just want to ask because, look, I've never been into dragon races or anything like that, so I'm a terrible example. So I'm going to pick one person that I know in this chat is the most biased and the most fanboy when it comes to dragon things. So, Kegrin, how do you like this dragon? Do you like this dragon, Kegrin? Kegrin died. I made the question and he died. Shadowlands, this isn't about Final Fantasy XIV. I don't want to bring up Final Fantasy XIV comparisons, to be honest. I really don't. It's too easy to just dunk on it if you compare it to Final Fantasy XIV, not to mention just like the public perception of Final Fantasy XIV is like leaps and bounds above, right? So I don't want to bring up comparisons to Final Fantasy XIV. I want to judge this on its own merits, which is why I'm just asking someone who I know loves like dragon lore, dragon characters, how he likes this dragon character. He's probably typing up he's either typing up a goddamn paragraph or he's dead. In that customization, it looks terrible, to be honest. They have other dragonoids in the game already that look better, the 4-legged ones, but with armor and other customization, if we really see what can be done, it may look good. Okay, it may look good. By the way, this would be the humanoid form right here. How do you like the humanoid form, Kegrin? I think it looks much better, personally. It looks like a bad elf. I don't know, dude. Personally, I don't like the way it looks. But then again, like I remember when I did the you know, when I played as a dragon in Dark Souls 1, I didn't think it looked particularly good there either. I don't know how you can make dragons look good as a playable race, because they're always going to like make them these humanoid looking things. So, yeah. Rurikhan, they showed off some screenshots of the character customization. This is just a poorly picked screenshot. Dude, well, what the fuck, dude? Okay, this is a poorly one? Okay, let's go for the next one. How about this one? Do you like this one? Is this one better? Does this one look better? Or is this also a poorly picked one? That is just the skin. No, the face changes, the horns change. There were plenty of changes. Does this one look better? Because you're telling me the other one was just like a poorly customized, okay, here's another one. Bear in mind, this isn't me grabbing these out of context. These are the examples they're giving us in the reveal presentation. This is their choice, not mine. They're the ones who chose these. Can dragon form wear an armor? Yes, they showed this. Like there was, like here, for instance, here. This would be like what their armor looks like. I don't know how it'll work. Like if you get gloves, will it also get gloves? Because like right here, we see a chest piece, a helmet, and I'm assuming shoulders. But yeah, I don't know how it would work for the rest of the pieces, like boots and stuff like that. Wait, where's that customization thing that I was looking at? Oh, here it is. Let's see another one. Let's see another one.
Entity in Azure.
How about I'm trying here. I'm trying. All right? I'm trying. Like, what do you want from me? This isn't on me. All right?
New zone, new class,
Oh
new
my
race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
Of course, the new expansion.
Here it
brings with
comes.
this, new
System
systems,
updates.
new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were
Furia, thank you for the
closely
bits.
tied to a specific
Tip of the
expansion
hat.
that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard.
Wait,
loud and clear
this is
from players
important.
That it's kind of a bummer to start
This is important.
to is really have.
Let me just
New
like
class,
Yep.
new
let me listen to
race.
that one for a
Tell
second because
us
I got
about
distracted.
Some of the system updates or features.
Of course, the new expansion brings with it, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard loud and clear from players that, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around,
Holy shit, it only took 3 expansions for them to get that. Oh my god, dude. It only took 3 expansions for them to understand that. You guys know what? I think what this means is in about 3 or 4 expansions, World of Warcraft is going to be in a really good place, dude, because that's about as long as it takes them to internalize feedback, apparently. It's about 3 expansions worth of time. 3. Or is it even 4? Was there a system like that before Legion? Before Legion, there was Warlords of Draenor. No, actually 4. Never mind, because Warlords of Draenor also had fucking... It was Warlords of Draenor, Legion. Which one was before Warlords of Draenor? Was that Mists? I don't know if Mists had because I didn't play during Mists, but so Warlords of Draenor, you had your garrison, which was an abandoned system. I don't know if there was another borrowed power system because I don't remember, but garrisons abandoned. Then you had Legion, which was your artifact weapon, abandoned. Then you had BFA, which was your what was it, the fucking Azurite powers, abandoned. Then you had fucking Shadowlands, which is the Covenants, and the best part is how they're acknowledging this while they're abandoning this. Like if you think about it,
incandescent.
You tell him, Ruri.
Blasphemous Crow, thank you very much for being grossing with us for 5 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Like, if you think about it, right? You have you have them acknowledging like, oh, it's a bummer that players have to leave their shit behind every time we come up with another one of these stupid systems. And then what do they immediately do? So we're gonna throw the current system away and we're gonna make a new one. We're going to throw the current system away and we're going to make a new one. And another expansion from now, they're going to do the same. Oh my God. I fucking quit, dude.
We're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and the arrival,
they're going to look at the UI. They haven't looked at the UI since 2004. Holy shit.
of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, you know,
I remember when they removed talents and they showed the new talent tree. I remember speaking to a lot of my friends. They're like just like as diehard as I used to be about World of Warcraft. And I remember telling them, this is some bullshit, dude. This new talent system that they're implementing is a piece of fucking dog shit. And my friends go, no, it's better, dude. It's way better because, you know, you have these other talents. It's like, whatever, dude. These new ones are better. And I'm just like, you people would literally eat shit with a spoon and ask for seconds. Holy shit. And now here comes Blizzard. It's like, oh, well, we lost something. Well, no shit. No shit you lost something.
That sense of hybridity that you could have, that's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid choices, because we know that there's always a right outcome there. And we also understand that, you know, there's a lot of strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and oh, over here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So,
You're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp, this is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players, new and old alike.
and can I reduce elements?
Remove add-ons. Hot take. Delete them. Get rid of them. Shit. Put it in the user, whatever, terms of service. You can't use add-ons anymore. Fucking delete them. Just get rid of them. No excuses. No excuses. I don't give a fuck what people say about it. Delete them. Make your game playable without add-ons. It'll make for a better game. 1,000% guaranteed. Like, listen, over the years, with all of the add-ons that we've been putting into the game and fucking weak auras and DBMs and big wigs and alerts for this and alerts for that, bullshit. No add-on should be able to detect what a boss is doing. Ever. Ever. No add-on should be able to tell you the boss is doing this. No. Wrong. Delete it. make it against the rules, make it a fucking bannable offense if you use any add-on that can alert you of what a boss is doing. And then you'll have to design your game around actually properly communicating to players what the fuck is happening in a raid. It's literally that simple. Anything less than that is a fucking half measure. Like, add-ons are still going to be there. If add-ons are still going to be there, you're still going to be in an arms race against shit like DBM, against shit like weak auras, and your rating scene is still going to be something that about 2% of the fucking population of World of Warcraft is going to experience. And those 2% are probably being paid to do it because they're content creators. Not being paid by Blizzard, not being bought by Blizzard, or anything like that. I'm saying they're heavily monetizing the fact that they're doing those raids, which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. And anyone who thinks that is, I'm sorry, you're fucking wrong. You're just fucking wrong. That's it. It's just literally that simple. Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. I don't even care. Just get rid of them. Just get rid of them.
Remove elements. If I want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth.
When it comes to
that looks
specific
clean
elements,
though.
As much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Go on.
Add-ons is what keeps the game alive. That's the same as saying remove the mods from Skyrim. What? Are you actually comparing World of Warcraft add-ons with Skyrim mods? I question your sanity, sir. What the fuck? Like, seriously, what? What are you talking about? Add-ons is what keeps the game alive? No. Add-ons is like, listen, you need to understand one thing, okay? If I wanted to play World of Warcraft right now, right this instant, I would have to spend a minimum of 2 hours setting up add-ons. And that's a conservative estimate. In order to make tanking playable. And that's not even to make, understand, that's not even to make it an enjoyable experience. That is to make it playable. So that I can actually have plates that I can actually see. That let me know whether or not I have threat on a mob. Because the game does not communicate to you appropriately whether or not you have threat on a fucking mob. Which, as it turns out, when you're a tank, is a pretty fucking important thing. And that's just like one of the very few minor things that I need to do. Because obviously I'm going to need bartender. Because fuck the default bars. They're terrible and they take up way too much screen real estate. You're obviously going to need bartender as well. So you're going to need bartender. You're going to need some kind of plates add-on. You're going to need a frame add-on. Because the default Blizzard fucking health display of other players is fucking atrocious. It's terrible. Your own health display is atrocious. And you can't even fucking move it. For some strange reason, it's locked to the top, to the corner of top left, as opposed to being somewhere a little bit closer to the... It's like, dude, I would have to spend literally 2 hours, conservative estimate, just to make the game playable. So without it, you wouldn't play it, so the add-ons keep the game alive. No, see, that's the point. If the add-ons weren't there, they would have to develop the game in a way where I could play the game without the add-ons. But because add-ons are there, Blizzard can just be like, add-ons will solve that. Not our problem, whatever. It's like, what? You can't move something? Nah, there's an add-on for that. It's called Move Anything. Saves development time. 2 hours if you know how the game works. Exactly. False, you can move them. Yeah, you can with add-ons. I mean, I don't know if they've changed them since then, but back when I played, like a bunch of years ago, you needed Move Anything in order to be able to move the frames. Because you wouldn't be able to move them with the in-game systems. Silver Nitro, thank you very much for making somebody gross... who was it? Cypher Zero grossly incandescent to channel. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. It's a total of 51 gifted subs, dude. Thank you. I need my auction house add-on. No, you don't. You know what you need? You need the auction. Actually, I feel like they already fixed the auction house, to be honest. Last time I played, they actually did a pretty good job of communicating to you the price at which someone is selling. You shouldn't have add-ons that just like scam the auction house for fucking shit that is being sold under vendor price or whatever, so that you can buy it and then sell. No. That's like metagaming on a level. You don't need that. You think you do, but you don't. You really don't. But yeah, it's like, if they're going to keep add-ons, then yeah, the raid scene's going to be a fucking shit show still.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
I think we left out one thing, though. You can be a Dracthyr, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons, if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature that we're calling Dragonriding. It's dynamic with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a.
But the best part is that it's going to take you the entirety of the expansion. It's going to be like 5 patches into the expansion, and it's going to be a ridiculously long quest line / rep grind that is going to take you about a year to actually do, and then you can do the things that we are showing you here. You can do barrel rolls with dragons. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back.
Customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So
Customizable
this
dragon
is a
mounts
skill
right
you
from the
learn
start?
over time, right, to become an awesome dragon rider.
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the dragon companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. You know, what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head,
That is
other
cool.
attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So yes, the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone for our Dracthyr class, as well as a range of systems revamps, such as a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before.
I think war
Also, getting
quarters
around
is
the
a really
Dragon
good
Isles
idea.
is going to come in the form of Dragonriding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that you can fly, in a sense, from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information, and keep an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're gonna go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft.
What I'm mostly curious about is where you're gonna go after. Because I mean, listen, it's not a mystery to anyone where you're gonna go next with Classic. The big mystery is where you're gonna go after. Because, like, of course, Wrath of the Lich King is a big deal. It was the best that World of Warcraft ever was. It was never any better than Wrath of the Lich King. Okay? The question is, where are you going to go after? You're going to go Cataclysm Classic?
Let's watch the cinematic.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that for Riga 3. Imagine them being like, oh yeah, here's this exclusive cosmetic for you. Right? Dude, that is actually, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Dude, that makes perfect sense. They're going to sell exclusive cosmetic options for those customizable dragons in the store. And every time that the players are going to feel disappointed with the game, they're going to once again crunch those wells. They're going to be like, oh man, look at these new horns we're going to sell to drag. They're literally going to sell you horns, dude. They're going to sell you horns for your dragon. And you're going to buy them too, you fucking WoW whales. You're going to buy them. Idiots. Putris. Wrath of the Lich King Classic.
My son,
Shadow
the day you were
Morn.
born, the very forests of Ohn'ahran whispered the name.
You want to know that one of the worst things about the Shadowlands?
The very forest.
Let me tell you one of the worst things about the Shadowlands right here. One of the worst things about the Shadowlands is that it cheapens this image right here. One of the worst things about the Shadowlands is that it shreds the actual cool lore and the fantasy about this weapon, about Arthas, about so many fantastic things. It's like they're spitting on your face with Shadowlands, and on the other hand, but hey, you can still play this old version of back when you still liked our game. Did I say Shadowmorn? I'm sorry. I got my Morns mixed. I figured, like, if Blizzard doesn't respect their own lore, why should I?
Were born. The very forests of Ohn'ahran whispered the name.
Arthas Menethil.
Arthas. When my days days have come to an end.
Sendragosa.
You shall be king.
$2022. It's coming out this year. Damn, son.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Every time I see the cinematic, I get chills. No pun intended.
Okay. What the fuck is incredible about that? No, please explain. It's just incredible. What? It's incredible how much money you're going to make out of that? That's what's incredible? It's incredible how disrespectful you are of your fan base? That's incredible? Like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, all right? What the fuck is incredible about this? 14 fucking years ago. Is that what's incredible? You're re-releasing a 14-year-old game and you're excited about it? A game which you've shat on for years? And somehow it's incredible that you're re-releasing it when it was the most predictable thing you could have ever done? Because this was the peak of this game? The fuck is incredible about what you're talking? What am I saying? Like I said, these people are incapable of having like a fucking natural conversation. Why am I even getting so fucking agitated over this? I know I'm getting agitated over this because I still fucking care, because deep down I'm a fucking imbecile.
I get chills. As you saw, Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year.
Who could have expected that?
When you see that cinematic, what do you
It brings back so many memories, so much nostalgia bait.
Dead frozen dragons. How can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son. So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice falling off and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room and I jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah, did it. So it's a very lasting tale for me.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some time before Wrath officially launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are so many zones and areas to explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has...
So let me explain something to you. Let me explain to you. Actually, we should look it up. We should look it up. Explore. Travel through an unfamiliar area in order to learn about it. There are so many areas to explore. Like, this isn't even a matter of opinion. This is just factually wrong. According to the definition of the word explore, you are wrong. There's nothing unfamiliar about Northrend.
A very special
Revisit,
place.
maybe.
The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
I still make my way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time-lost Proto-Drake and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonblight. The wide open nature of the zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it, it's an unforgettable expansion as both a developer and a player, and kind of making that transition from one to the
No, the best zone was the Howling Fjord. Shut the fuck up.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at
And Storm
is
Peak.
Dungeon
Storm Peak's
Finder,
pretty good
and
too.
It feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to
They're not going to bring Dungeon Finder?
show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listen to the community and we remove that because individual rating is preferable and a better experience for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character. We're going to be adding a few more options that were not existing when Wrath launched, but also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that just be available in game for gold and we add more options to it, right?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes classic classic and what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience, and let's not artificially restrict something that we can provide a better version of just for the sake of nostalgia. And we're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So Wrath, the level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that.
Cha-ching!
To a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it.
Cha-ching!
And of course, we have
Woo! Get on the hype train. Let's go.
And as we continue this road to
Level
Wrath,
70
we're
boost.
gonna be looking to getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time to be playing World of Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of the Lich King for classic fans and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
And in the Dragon Isles.
The Dragonflight deep dive starts now.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dragonflight Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory.
Hi,
Starting off
Steve.
Here, we're going to talk about the setting and the story of Dragonflight.
We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight, the Dragon Isles.
Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home, reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again, and for Alex Straza and the others to come home. But the land has changed a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as well.
We're looking into the culture of dragons as they exist in Warcraft.
Dragons,
For real,
as we
thank you
know
for the
them
bits.
today, were very
Tip of the hat.
different in the
Appreciate
early
it.
past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage, what we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good, in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the Black Dragonflight led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were,
To do that, they're going to need the help of our heroes, our players, to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges, because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. There's those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jarradin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just by the Jarradin. There's also many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles that have been here either just recently or for a while, including a fan favorite coming back, the Tuskarr.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other cultures there as well in the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out.
A fan favorite? Somebody please. The Tuskarr? A fan favorite. A lot of people like Tuskarr, surprisingly. Are you sure about that? Fan as in singular. Tuskarr were #1 wish for allied race? What the fuck? Oh, God.
About a civilization of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor much later.
And some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
And whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black Dragonflight.
I think one thing the players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Dracthyr.
That's right.
And this is something that Neltharion, before he was Deathwing, before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Dracthyr. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these landscapes.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying to return to that, to try to find your legacy, to try to figure out who you were before everything went awry. But there's questions, thematic questions of what does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons.
You guys know nothing of what it means to be true to your legacy. I think it's a terrible idea that you're writing a story about what it means to be true to your legacy when you have no fucking idea what that even means.
Just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
Hope you are doing
when I
well.
look, upon
Xanther, thank you very much for being
Dragon
gross incandescent
Isles
for
and all of
9
its
months.
visual splendor, I
Tip
get
of the
so
hat.
excited
Appreciate the
for the
support. Thank you.
prospect of a truly Azerothian adventure
Twitch baby.
alongside Calicos.
I'll tell you what, like, when it comes to the looks, because I've seen some comments earlier about, like, the visuals or whatever, I think the game looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong. The art team has always hard carried everybody else. I've said it multiple times. I think World of Warcraft's art's actually really gorgeous, but it's like not everybody's going to like it the same way that not everybody likes the art styles in other video games.
Along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flights. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
Sure thing.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
And we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Ohn'ahran Plains. The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to is the Waking Shores. It's wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too. And
these jump cuts, oh my God, dude, how many takes did it take you guys to do this? How scripted is this thing? Because, like, here's the thing, as somebody who edits video, I can catch every single subtle shift in like tone. And that one wasn't even that subtle. That was like straight up. He went from speaking in a way to speaking a completely different way. How many jump cuts did you need?
the elements are just going crazy.
The art team, again, has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're gonna get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from
One of the best things I love is how you get to the Dragon Isles, just like Northrend. You get on a fucking boat, and there you are.
from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity for war mode.
It's free for all out there. It's gonna be great. But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach so that
It's going to be great if you're on the Horde. Because if you're on the Alliance, you better turn war mode off. Let's put it like that. If you're on the Alliance, you better turn that shit off, all right? Because otherwise, you're going to find yourself like, it's going to be the one Alliance character on the boat coming in, and he looks at the other boat, and there's just like a fucking massive crowd of like 10,000 people. No, wait, the servers only support like way less than that. A massive crowd of like 100 Horde players. And it's just like that picture of the little blonde woman in the couch with the 9 dudes around the couch with a big smile on their face. And she's like, I'm in danger. Like, that's you on that Alliance boat. All right? That's you. That's you on that boat. And that's the Horde waiting to come in and do things to you if you have war mode on in Alliance. That's how that works. So enjoy that experience.
if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working.
You don't even have to go to Stormwind to turn off war mode because we know that Alliance is going to get reamed so goddamn hard. We want to make sure that you can just opt out of war mode right there. Right as the Horde is pounding you, just like going like this. This is the sound of orcish balls slapping against your Alliance ass like that. Just like right in the middle of that, they're going to give you a safe word so that you can, please stop the pain. Oh my God.
Together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers. This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new land. So it's a lot more optimistic tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of nurturing and protecting all life, which means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks, trolls, everybody. So they take that duty seriously. When the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there to help guide the people through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's gonna try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jarden so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shore
And Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jarden.
I never thought that I would actually be disappointed by World of Warcraft's art team. What in the actual fuck is this? Hey guys, wait, guys, listen. Check out my armor. Check out my armor. Check out my legendary chest piece. What the fuck? I'm just trying to understand. Is this a female Jarden? Because it doesn't look like it. What the fuck is this?
Jarden so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shores and the Dragon Isles went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive. They're riding giant lava mammoths,
And
parading
thank you for
around,
the
just
bits.
stomping on your
Tip
face.
of the hat.
And they were
Appreciate it.
the enemies of the Dragonflight for so long. They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking this opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just stop.
I'm just gonna say that it makes perfect sense that Jarden they decided to rise up now. I think it makes perfect sense from a lore standpoint, because obviously if you're going to fight, apparently what they're saying is that these Jarden are like super enemies of the dragons. And obviously the moment to rise up against the dragons is when the Titan Watchers make the signal to bring all the dragons back home. That's precisely the time when your enemy is at its strongest. That's when you really want to go after your enemies. It makes perfect sense to me. I think this is, clearly top level fucking story writing, 1,000%, dude. Like, yes, it makes perfect. Just as the dragons are coming back to the islands, this is when the Jarden was like, you know what? I've had enough of them fucking dragons. Let's go fuck them up. And they're like, Alexstrasza's coming back. Good. This is the best time. Strategically, the best time to make our move. Just as Alexstrasza and all the other ones from the different Dragonflights come back. Clearly, this is the best time to make our stand.
About the Jarden completely, but they want to make sure that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Steph, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
Yes.
This is true. Ducks.
You finally have those webbed feet hooligans
That's some funny shit. And these look like ducks too.
In our game, we cracked the technology.
They
We've
can
got them
figure
in.
it out. They
Yep.
can fly.
You should be proud.
Thank you.
It's gonna be awesome.
The Ohn'ahran Plains come right after the Waking Shores. It's so breathtaking at first glance.
The Ohn'ahran Plains are big, wide open plains. And the player is going to be constricted a little bit, and then you see this big contrast of a zone. We don't always get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the
This
player
zone
can
looks great.
have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard shot
love
of
that.
the plains. And then you see this
It does look
giant
great.
fire proto-dragon breathing fire, and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon and crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Ohn'ahran?
Ohn'ahran is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle.
Can you make your game run well for the trailer shots?
Ohn'ahran is the wild god of the
Like, look at that. What the fuck is this? 10 frames a second?
wind.
Like, what are we doing
She's
here?
appeared before as like this
What the
big
fuck?
spirit eagle.
And look at these fucking textures. What the fuck is this? What is this? Oh my God. Like, let me tell you something, and people are gonna say that I'm full of shit for this. But let me just tell you something. If you're excited to jump into this expansion, if you want to have a good time, heavily temper your expectations. That's what this image screams right here. Because, like, think of it. They're not even, because this is a reveal event, and they're not even tailoring this to show you the best bits. It's just like, yeah, just put that fucking stupid pet at 10 frames a second with those crappy ass fucking tech. Like, what? How is the game running at 10 FPS with this shitty ass bird and no fucking textures in the zone that the bird is in? What the fuck is going on here?
She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago.
If
She
only
blessed
I
them,
could be
took
so
their caravan
grossly
across, and
incandescent.
showed them the plains.
Hey Ruri,
How
hope
fun
you're
at
doing
the beginning
well.
of this
Beard's
expansion was
looking nice
exploring the
smile.
culture of the centaur.
The centaur
This rally, thank you very much for being Grossing That's for 53 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you very much.
are these mighty, awesome hunters that, back when they first came to the Dragon Isles, they fought the green dragons all day long. Eventually, they realized that we're strong, you're strong, maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace, we'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves, and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now, the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far since then. And they've been here, and they've been existing and developing their culture. They all came over as one clan led by the mighty Maruk and Tira, and they founded a new life here. So if you want to get across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations upon generations. The centaur might rule the open plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plain, and we want to be creative with them. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the story. We certainly couldn't have done that in the vanilla WoW.
No, definitely not. The zones are so big, and you can see so far.
Look at him taking digs at Classic. There's infighting at Blizzard. Dude just took a dump all over Classic. Like, we certainly couldn't do this in Classic WoW. He's like, fuck them Classic nerds. Retail's the real shit. There's actually infighting in Blizzard's internal team. This dude just came out and was like, fuck them Classic nerds, dude. We're doing the real shit over here. You couldn't do this in your stupid little Classic zones.
Especially in Ohn'ahran Plains. So we talked to the engineers, and we actually increased that distance.
It spurs you on to want to adventure and look through the zone and explore everything.
The interesting thing for me is we have all these conflicts with the dragonflights. There's missing dragons, there's battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and help solve all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now, we're gonna have some folks talking about the next 2 zones that players are gonna experience in the Dragon Isles.
Azure Span and Thaldraszus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Thaldraszus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the 3rd zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual.
That zone
elevation
looks really
change,
cool.
And it really started with this great concept art. When we first
like
were
that.
taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which was Grizzly Hills. And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more.
Nostalgia bait, dude. Let's go.
And I don't know if you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, but we've got all different types of trees.
Listen, Blasphemous Crow, I don't give a fuck about whether there's diversity in the team or not. It's like, it's not so, I know that there's all this thing about like, oh, we got to be more inclusive, it's like, listen, here's what I care about. Make a good game. That's what I care about. If they are doing a good game, that'd be great. Doesn't seem like they are, but that's what I really care about. I don't care if like the person working on the map is a male, a female, trans man, trans woman. I don't care. Black, Indian, Mexican, American, Caucasian. Don't care. Really don't care at all. What I care is, are they qualified to do what they're doing? Are they doing a good job? Good. That's what I care about. And right now, that's not. Hey.
Eventually, it'll break open into this wide open tundra that just golden.
But the zone
red,
looks
and
good.
You'll reach up to another level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in
this is
snow
good.
and ice. We
I
have
like it.
Giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. And Sean, I know in the forest we can expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Gnolls. These gnolls are all throughout the forest and Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some gnolls with strange magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow gnolls, or as I call them, the snolls, up in the winter area. And then some regular gnolls that are just going to be around the forest area. So then we go into the big open tundra where we meet our second group, the Tuskar.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture a lot more.
And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime's probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since we've seen them. We remember the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. They're also getting a nice, cool upres for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are going to be male Tuskar, female Tuskar, Tuskar kids. So we're going to fight alongside them, which includes help from a certain group of dragons, the blue dragons. We're going to follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's going to be adventuring into Sindragos' archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot of surprises. When we're done there, we head over to Thaldraszus.
Thaldraszus. It's really incredible because you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the dragon buildings. But when you get to Thaldraszus, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 dragonflights and home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains. We've got these great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Thaldraszus, and their magic is time. There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options. And we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. We really wanted it to feel like their old stomping grounds. One of the really cool features is going to be the main city and player hub for this expansion, Valdrakken. It is a culmination of all of the dragon's efforts to put together what a city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenience services for players, including an auction house in the city, which will be really nice if you're looking for
Okay,
more
dude,
exotic
like,
wares.
what the?
The thing that A bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue
Like, look at that. What the fuck is that? Look at the frame rate on this.
is hosting a public
And
library.
it's like, look, you can say, okay, Rurikhan, you're focusing too much on the frame rate. This is literally their reveal. It's their reveal. I don't even give a fuck about frame rates. I play video games on the Switch. I don't care. But I mean, seriously, a PC game on your reveal, you're going to have it run at like fucking 10 frames a second? The fuck is wrong with you? How badly is this optimized? Is this even going to be able to run?
And the red and green Dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenient services for players.
Like, look at this. Look at this.
In the city, which will be really nice if you're looking for more.
Oh my God. Ruri, this is a pre-alpha dev build. Calm your tits. Okay, Mr. Souls Creek. That's the type of apologism that I'm talking about.
Incandescent. It's 1 FPS for every second the QA team was permitted to work on it.
True. Oh my God, that's so fucking true. Hey, Faria, thank you very much for being Gross Incandescent for 10 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. No, but seriously, Mrs. Soul Creek, like, that's the type of apologism that it's like, because I always remember when it comes to World of Warcraft, it's like, you know, when people go into the beta and they give feedback to the developers, and there's a bunch of people that come out and say like, oh no, dude, it'll be fine in the final version. It'll be fine. That's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like game's going to be coming out, it's going to be running like ass, and then I want to see what the excuse is then. It's going to be like, well, they couldn't have known. They couldn't have how could they have known? Nobody gave them feedback on it. It's like, I'm sorry, this presentation is running like ass. I mean, imagine me putting out a video on YouTube where I fucked up the render and I uploaded the video at 15 frames a second. Well, there you go. Is it a good presentation? No, then I'm allowed to criticize it. It's like, listen, this is literally a presentation. Like, you remember when you had to present a project at school and you had to like public speak if you started studying like you're going to get criticized. People are going to give you shit. There's the same thing. You're showing me this footage of the game and it runs like ass. In one of the images, there weren't even textures loaded. This is what you're presenting. You have to show me the best of what. Here's the thing. The game itself doesn't even need to be as good as the presentation, but they got to present it. Well, I mean, it should, but they got to at least, you know, show put their best foot forward. Like, I'm saying this as a criticism because, again, I want them to be better. I want the game to succeed because World of Warcraft being a good MMO would be a good thing for the MMO genre. Because the game is bleeding users and they needed to present content. That's the worst motivation you can have. That's literally really bad motivation. It's like, oh my God, everything's falling around us. Like, quick, we got to slap together a presentation about the upcoming No, take your fucking time. I completely disagree with that. It's like, you got to put your best foot forward. Because, like, again, like, they're not even trying to convince me. I'm not convinced. Like, from the stuff that I've seen so far, I'm not interested. As a matter of fact, the most exciting thing that I've seen in this whole presentation was the Wrath of the Lich King announcement. That's the most exciting thing I've seen so far. I know WoW is at a fucking shit point. It's either that or nothing anymore. No. Take your time. Why do they need to reveal on the 19th of April? Like, what's so fucking special about the 19th of April? Why couldn't they have revealed it a month from now? The game's probably not going to come out for at least a year, minimum. If that, it's probably going to be like 2 years. So why do they have to reveal it now? You can't tell me that's like, oh yeah, we had to do it now because player numbers. That's a shitty motivation. That's a really shitty motivation. Like, let the player numbers drop and then announce something proper so that you can actually have the player base rally around. Like, I seriously think that this is fucked up because, like, you show shit like this and then it looks bad to people. Like, again, not for me. You're not marketing this game to me right now. You're not marketing this to me. You're marketing this to people. You're trying to nostalgia bait people. People are going to look at it. They're going to judge it on its merits. They're going to see it. They're going to be like, holy shit, look at how bad the game is running. That is bad for the game. Have you seen the numbers? I know they're bad. I've said, I made a video about it. I made 2 or 3 videos about it by now, about the numbers. I know the numbers are bad, Mr. Soul Creek. And I know that this is going to give them more numbers, but it would have given them way more if the presentation was proper. If it wasn't this fucking staged bullshit that they're doing here, if they had like a proper actual human conversation. It fucking sucks that Blizzard teams can't act like human fucking beings. They need to have all of this like it's been said time and time again by people who have interacted with Blizzard PR that they're a fucking nightmare to work with. Like I saw a video from Stylosa, who's someone I know, and about how he wanted to have a conversation with Jeff, and PR kept fucking about. Like, him and Jeff had to meet outside of the purvey of PR to have a conversation about Overwatch. It's like, Jeff wanted to have this conversation. Jeff Kaplan, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Jeff Kaplan wanted to talk with Stylosa. Stylosa wanted to talk with Jeff Kaplan. And the PR team was, instead of being the bridging link that they're supposed to be, they were literally the worst possible thing in the middle of that equation. They had to meet together outside in a fucking cafe somewhere or a bar or something outside of the purview of the PR team. So what I'm saying is that the World of Warcraft PR team is doing such a shit job at doing these presentations, whether it is because there's shit fucking frame rate like we were talking about, whether it is because there's these fucking stage presentations that everybody can see how fake they are. You don't have to be a fucking video editor or have any knowledge in video editing like me to detect these fucking jump cuts that they're doing all over the place to present this fucking corporate message. You think that what World of Warcraft needs right now is a fucking corporate message? No! They need to humanize their team as much as fucking possible. Just let them have a fucking regular conversation. Why is the World of Warcraft PR team so against their fucking team having a human, normal conversation? Just like 2 people talking about the game. And if there's something wrong about it, fucking be real about it. That would bring way more players back into World of Warcraft than whatever the fuck this is. It is going to be staged anyway. It's an American company. All of them are like that. For some reason, they think this is good stuff. This is garbage. It's fucking garbage. This fucking pre-packaged PR team, fucking multiple camera angles, production value, fucking depth of field, fucking super focus, zoom in on faces whenever they do those fucking fake smiles. You put a behavior analyst looking at this fucking footage and it will tear this shit apart so fucking bad. Like, none of these people want to be here. They're probably thinking to themselves, good God, wouldn't it be great if I could just talk about how awesome it was? Like, maybe not even with the team themselves. Wouldn't it be great if they could just, like, have an interview with, say, like, for instance, Preach, Bellular, Towley, even Asmongold? Because apparently they can't have a conversation amongst themselves that is like a human fucking interaction. It's got to be all of this pre-packaged fucking corporate speak bullshit. That's what's disappointing and frustrating. Because you know, I really would like to play World of Warcraft again. And at the rate they're going, it's never going to fucking happen because they keep fucking pulling these goddamn stunts. Rurikhan, I would love to see them have an interview with you because you are so harsh on WoW, makes it interesting. I don't think that that's a good thing because, like, if I was to do... I mean, here's the thing. I would love to do an interview with somebody from World of Warcraft. But it's like, if I'm going to do an interview with them, I'm obviously not going to be fucking Omega Mr. fucking super harsh because that's not an interesting interview. Like, I'll ask them hard questions, but I'll be respectful and all. But it will be a conversation. I will not take this fucking PR nonsense of like, well, you know, I'll want to know what are you authorized to talk about. And if they were to tell me, well, We can't really tell you much, but you can ask them how they go about designing lists. It's like, well, I don't think that's very interesting. We all know you're going to play it. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. This expansion, if anything, like I said, the thing that I was curious about is Wrath of the Lich King, because they're saying they're changing some stuff. Like, there's no duty finder and shit. Like, that actually sounds somewhat interesting to me, but like, whatever this is, nope. Art style looks great, but I can tell that their design philosophy is still not there. Their design philosophy is just not there. They're still all about the corporate speak and all about, like, you have to be real. You can't just, like, prepackage all of this bullshit like this.
The thing that really sold me on Thaldraszus was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place, and filled with so much history.
Tierhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakrond. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles, he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Flights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to dive off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
I think it's going to be great for the dragon race to ride a dragon. I think watching a dragon riding a dragon is going to be peak World of Warcraft.
Hi, I'm Jake.
I'm Andy.
I'm Kali.
And I'm Graham. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about the Dracthyr Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also Dragonriding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted
Maria,
to
thank you for the
let
bits.
you play a dragon.
Tip of the
Not
hat.
a big dragon,
Appreciate
Alexstrasza
it.
size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake.
Okay.
I know.
It's fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Dracthyr, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero classes, you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the Dracthyr are created by an aspect, they have the ability to...
Also, I'm calling it here. Dracthyr is going to be meta, easily going to be meta for like the first 2 patches. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be super meta. It's going to be top notch. And I'm also calling it here at the start of the expansion, warriors are going to fucking suck like they always do. As a matter of fact, protection warriors aren't even going to be viable tanks, as they always aren't. Those are like my 2 predictions instantly for this expansion.
Wield the magic of all 5 Dragonflights. So Evokers can take advantage of red magic and blue magic and bronze magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic effect. This prismatic effect is basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast. You have a red magic spell called Pyre. So when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your enemies and exploding and
That's
hopefully
cool.
burning them.
I'll take that one.
Getting that vibe across that they use all 5 was really important to us, but we did want to make sure that each specialization focused on 2, because casting 5 different colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer specialization, their first of 2, Devastation, mostly focuses on red and blue.
Mike Ybarra plays a warrior, but he plays a fury warrior. So I can assure you, sure, fury warriors might be fine. Protection warriors are going to be shit. Like, listen, this isn't even something that I'm like, oh, maybe it'll happen. No, I guarantee you that Protection Warriors are going to be shit at the start of the expansion like they always are.
Magic. Red being very fast and explosive, burning everything with fire, whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
There's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green and your bronze magics. So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation, which all make you feel very powerful, we really wanted the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new type of spell called Empower, where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up the spell. The longer you charge it up, it might do more damage or hit more targets depending on the spell, but it gives you this really physical connection and control that's new for World of Warcraft, and I think is feeling really, really good.
Charge
we
spells.
have some great animations. Thank you, Andy. Your team.
Love it, Andy.
You feel physical when you're casting your spells.
You can actually fly around the battlefield and cast while you're flying.
Raining fire and death from above. It's great.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another part
And
of
balanced.
feeling draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons breathing fire, but you know what's actually fire?
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form. And the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
What about color? Just tell me you
tell
can
us about the
change
colors.
color.
You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Dracthyr form.
But my favorite, super favorite part of customization for the visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
Yeah.
The tech is here.
We finally did it.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying because
Twin
flying
B,
has
thank
a
you
very
very much for
specific
the
meaning for
bits.
World of Warcraft.
Tip of the hat.
And
Appreciate
we're talking
support.
about
Thank you.
something new called Dragonriding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for dragon...
It's like, you see, one of the things that I don't like about this Dragonflight thing is that it completely ignores all of the other mounts you already have. You already have dragon mounts. Hell, even I have dragon mounts. But they're going to make this one special dragon that can do all of this shit. All of your other dragons are still Derp McDerpenstein. It kind of takes away from the previous mounts that you already have when you do stuff like this.
Flight, we're going to have the opportunity to show players a whole new set of Dragon Isle Drakes, completely unique from all the other things they've seen in World of Warcraft. And so we wanted to come up with a movement system that would add that sense of physics, weight, and gravity, like you were mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the engineering team, who we rely on heavily, and that combined with some new animations really helps to lend that feeling of physics as you move through the air in ways that you haven't before. And the icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've added on top of all of that.
By the way, may want to take a look at Guild Wars 2 Griffin mount comparison. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no. Oh man, are they actually going after Guild Wars mounts? Like, listen, I barely play Guild Wars 2, and I can tell you that if you're going to try to take on the Guild Wars 2 mounts, you are fucked. Like, you're just fucked, okay? The way that they do mounts in Guild Wars 2, like, forget about it. It's the best one. When it comes to MMO mounts, it doesn't get any better than Guild Wars 2. And anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's that simple.
So for example, when you start hitting maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of immersion and sense of reality.
As players make their way through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options to fine-tune their Dragon Isle Drake's appearances. Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor, and more.
Can I have spikes?
Definitely.
Okay.
We want to provide players with...
Is it in the store? I'm not even joking. That's legit the most important question of all. Are you going to sell it in the store? Are you going to sell these cosmetics in the store? Of course, they're not going to tell you that right now. They tell, right at the moment, we don't have any plans. Then after the game comes out, hey, get your 6-month sub in and get an exclusive customization for your pretty little dragon mount. 1,000%, dude. 1,000%.
All new skills to play with, as those who can use their momentum well can reach higher and higher heights and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many new, gorgeous options to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing.
Here's
it's been a lot of fun.
Here's the interesting thing. I think that Flight done like this is much more interesting than regular Flight. As in, Flight with some limitations is way better than traditional MMO flying mounts. I think that I've said this multiple times, and I know that a lot of people don't like me saying this. I fucking hate flying mounts in MMOs. I think it's terrible. I think that having flying mounts in MMOs, any MMO, by the way, Final Fantasy XIV, I think that in Guild Wars 2, they're done in a unique way. I don't know exactly how flight works in Guild Wars 2. I don't think it's as simple as just like, oh, you mount up and you fly and you go. I think that there's more to it than that. So on Guild Wars 2, I don't know. But like in World of Warcraft and pretty much any other MMO that just has like unrestricted, you hop on a mountain and you fly anywhere you go, I think that's bad for the game. Personally, I think that is very bad for the game. Because the moment that you can just like hop on a flying mount and go A to B, that's a bad thing. I think that that is just bad for MMO interactions as a whole. Because if everybody is more grounded, or at least somewhat limited, like a lot of people usually bring up gliding. I think gliding is interesting. But like if everybody's a little bit more grounded, there are more opportunities for player interaction. Whereas if everybody's just like zoom, fly, boom, A to B, crow's line, I think that is bad. I think that's bad. It's like, I'm sorry, you're never going to convince me otherwise. That's just bad. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, I just got, you got to respect my time. I got shit that I got to do. I got to go do. It's like, listen, if you got shit that you got to do, then maybe you shouldn't be playing video games. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like, I hear so many people now that's like, oh, I just don't have time for this and that and the other. If you don't have time to have a good time, I don't know what to tell you. Because like, I just think it would be more entertaining. Just take how awesome Endwalker release was, how often we passed each other. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's the point. Like before everybody unlocked like all of their ether currents and shit, like everybody was on the ground. Everybody was helping each other out. Like if there's a dead player on the ground, you might be able to resurrect them. Like there's just so many more interactions with the players themselves. And that's what MMOs are all about. They're about interactions with the players. So I think that if they're changing Flight in a way where, say for instance, you can't reach a higher thing unless you do like a dive bomb, like they're doing this dive bomb thing, and say if you have to do the dive bomb to gain momentum, and then you have to like balance the way in which you go up in order to like go higher than you would usually be able to. I think that's a good thing. making it more interactive, that is actually a good thing. I still think it should be limited somehow. Like, hey, you can fly for this amount of time. Now your dragon's a little bit tired, whatever. But it's like people are so used to traditional flying in MMOs that you can't put that genie back in the bottle ever again. Unless your MMO just does not have flying mounts, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And I think that fucking sucks. Because I think MMOs would be way better without flying mounts.
To work on, but I can't wait to actually get in the game, play it with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. It's gonna be great.
Next up, you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes coming in Dragonflight.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Laura. We are very excited to share you're finally revamping the
Dude,
WoW.
this name is awesome. Like, I'm not making fun of this person. It's like, it's just sardinha is sardine in Portuguese. It's like, oh, it's funny.
And it is also time for a major revamp to talents and specializations.
I have a big question for the group. How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said this literally at the start of the video. It only took him 18 years to revamp the WoW UI. That's fucking impressive. That's a pretty short turnaround.
18 years. Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made the UI back in 2004. Now you have like bigger monitors, and we have better dev tools to work with. So it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully.
It makes sense to have the revamp right now. It just made sense to do it right now.
Over the years. And if you look at the HUD looks like it got frozen time.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create a layout experience that players could customize, move things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today, they do a lot for player customization.
The downside is that not everybody uses them. It's about time that everybody has the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality, to improve accessibility in a lot of areas, and on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a big part of this project. The UI that we have today has a lot of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in mind, we want to respect the players who really like the current UI, but do a more than take to it. Removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars and the bottom menus, they have
So let me tell you a secret, Blizzard. Nobody wants this. We better be able to turn this shit right off from the get-go. Okay, just turn it off. Nobody wants it. Being able to move shit around, amazing. It's like you looked at the way people designed their UIs with add-ons, and you just made it. Good job. It only took you 18 years to get a fucking clue. Sheesh.
The action bars and the bottom menus, they have less head frames, and it can really open up your gameplay, so you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And of course, we want to find...
You don't have a lot of your UI. Wait, let me just see here. What the what's the current sepulcher of the first ones? Let's just put in the jailer fight. Just gonna do jailer fight. Let me just find a random one. Yeah, here we go. Just gonna grab a random Team Liquid video. This is Team Liquid, right? I think. Yeah, Liquid MMO. It's like we're gonna clean up the UI, and then your players are gonna do this. Blizzard's going to clean up the UI, and this is what players are going to do. I can almost see a little bit of the game in the middle of all these panels. I can almost see just there's like a little bit of gameplay in the middle of all this UI. Holy shit. And see, this is why I said get rid of add-ons. Get rid of them. Because due to the fact that add-ons exist, due to the fact that shit like DBM, weak auras, and all of this, Blizzard needs to design their raids in a way that they're fighting against those add-ons. And the players, what do? Let's just pile more add-ons. They just keep piling add-ons. Add-ons on top of add-ons on top of add-ons. Let's just keep putting ketchup on the lasagna. That's what they do. Just put more add-ons in that bitch so that you can circumvent the mechanics that the raid is putting in place in order to circumvent the fucking add-ons. It's a snake eating its own tail. Faria, thank you very much for the bits. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. This dude literally has the calendar for Microsoft Outlook in his UI. I think that this is Grid. I think that's the name of this one, Grid. But it's like, I don't think that this is a good experience for anyone. And you guys are like, okay, Rurikhan, what does your rating UI look like in Final Fantasy XIV? It looks like this. So these are markers that we put in the game. You have these in WoW as well. Markers are actually the thing that is taking up the most space. But like, here's my party list. If I was playing a healer, my party list would be over here. And this part would be cleared up. Here's my abilities. Here's the boss's health. And there's like a cast bar that shows up a little bit above the boss's health. That's it. Here's my minimap. And there's a couple of more things. This is what my UI looks like. Here's my limit break. Simple, clean. There's still too much on the screen. There is a lot on the screen in my UI. I agree. There's a lot on the screen in my UI. But to be honest, that's actually a consequence of me playing so much World of Warcraft. I've gotten used to having shit more in the middle of the screen. And so my eyes just like naturally gravitate towards the middle of the screen. Yeah, this is what my UI looks like. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, here, see? When the boss is casting, you can see the boss is cast here. That's because whenever you're a tank, it's pretty important to see what the fuck the boss is casting at any given time to see if I need to react to it with an ability, with a cooldown, with anything, right? And this, by the way, in case you guys are wondering, Rurikhan, you're just doing fucking normal content. No, this is Savage. This is P3S. This is Savage. This is the current Savage tier of the game. So this is currently the hardest content in the game. It's not the hardest fight because this is the one before that, but this is currently the hardest content in the game. So yeah. Now show a healer UI. Like I said, I don't have a healer UI because I'm playing tank in this, but the only difference in the healer UI for me, literally the only difference for a healer UI would be this party bar, instead of being over here, would be over here. That is literally the only difference. When I'm playing healer, that's literally the only difference. Because when I'm playing tank, I don't have to pay as much attention to everybody's health. I mean, I can still heal, and every now and then I do still heal, but I like to keep everything clear. But if I'm playing a healer, I'll just move this over here, and that's the only difference. That is literally the only difference. But yeah, it's like, this is way more minimalistic than this. This is like, Jesus Christ. And keep in mind, what I have there, all built in game. Not a single add-on. I don't do add-ons because I also play on PlayStation 5 and I can't have add-ons on PlayStation 5. So yeah.
Iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure updating the Griffins. They look so nice now. And the Horde, don't worry, we got you. We're going to have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a mode in that will let players move various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini.
You mean you're doing this? You're making this add-on baseline. That's what you're doing. Good job. Good job, Blizzard. Good job. Good job. Fan-fucking-tastic. This has only been in the game since 2008. It's only been in the game for 14 years. Made by the community. And they're like, we're gonna put something in that's gonna let you. Yes, you're gonna put move anything into the game. Good job. Good job. Well, hopefully it'll be a little bit more graphical because move anything could be a little bit messy sometimes. But yeah.
Map, say from the right corner all the way over to the left corner, or if I want to bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my character, those are all things that I'll be able to do?
Absolutely. And each of those different components will have various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it, name it.
Dude, wait. It actually looks exactly like Move Anything. This is what the Move Anything interface looks like. Oh my God. So listen, why don't you listen, Blizz, just go full hog and just copy the way that 14 did it, all right? Just put in the grid in as well so that we can do it. There was actually an add-on that they did that. I forget which one it was. It wasn't Move Anything. There was another one. I think that was an LVY maybe. I don't know, but there was one where it actually would give you a grid just like Final Fantasy XIV. It was an add-on that would basically replicate everything that the 14 UI can do, and it would just let it do it in WoW. So this isn't even as developed, as elaborate as the other add-on I've already seen.
Save it, edit it, copy it, name it. Also, it'll remember which spec you're in. So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever HUD layout you have for that spec.
That
This
is
is
a
an
very
ongoing
good thing.
project. We're gonna keep working on it. So we really want to hear back from you.
A project that we're all excited
It's a
about,
good
that
thing,
we've been
like-
collaborating a lot on, is something that's pretty UI.
Like I want to make sure that you guys understand, like I'm ragging on it and I'm criticizing it, but this is a very good thing. This is a very, very good thing.
And that's the talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before.
Now, an important thing though is, would they bring this back to Wrath Classic? Because like that would make sense. This is a very good feature that they're working on. Why wouldn't you make it available in Wrath Classic? You know? You doubt it? Yeah, I doubt it too, because it's Blizzard and you know, they're fucking clueless and out of touch. But it would be a good thing.
And we really started with, how can we have players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide the order.
Yeah, we started looking for a system that would give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. But it's actually two trees. We have a class tree that offer different class utility, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Can I just jump in and say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia.
So wait, there's a tree for utility talents and another tree for actual talents that affect like your performance. That's actually a good thing. Again, that's a good thing. There are good things that they're doing here.
As we said, we have these two trees because we feel like picking a specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now. And so we want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something new. The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off. in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and part of that is encouraging players to perhaps make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most recent expansions, but not the base UI.
We want you to be able to tinker with it. You know, we want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into, and so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school.
For gold, and just in case you guys run out of gold, we have this amazing system called the WoW token. You wanna get some gold? Mm-hmm. For real money? Mm-hmm. You wanna get some gold? They said no gold costs on it anymore? I didn't hear that.
Trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
Talents were really about the breadth of options. We've made all these different cool things over the years, but when are they at their coolest? It's when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
So these are really cool features that we've been working long and hard on, and we're very excited about them. And it's just an early preview of the things we've been doing. We can't wait to see the reaction that you have to them, and please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions and Dragon.
Please reach out to us so that we can promptly ignore you.
Dragonflight.
Hi, I'm Joanna.
And I'm Eric, and we're going to talk about our plans for professions in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever, and they've seen lots of really cool incremental updates over their life. But for Dragonflight, we want to do something a bit different. We really want to rethink professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player, if that's what you want.
We really want to make sure that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders. If you want to have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can basically browse any of the recipes that can be crafted, pick the one you want for yourself, and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can pick, do you want to send the order to anyone, sort of a public order, or do you want to only send it to your guild, or to a specific other player? Maybe it's a friend who you know will be able to craft the item really well for you.
If you are really dedicated to your craft, you're going to be the best at what you do.
One of the coolest things about this is the item you had crafted can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat. And
I
really
think work orders are good.
The number of items that we can provide that are really powerful.
I think that's a really good
everyone
feature.
Can have them crafted through the crafting order system.
This is also really cool because it means as a crafter, you can start building your client base. People are going to come back to you to get certain items. Maybe you're the best at making it, or you always throw in a little something extra. You're also going to be leveling up your profession. It's going to be really great.
So the first time you go to craft, you're going to notice a lot of different things, but probably the biggest is the introduction of quality.
Here's the most important thing, and one of the biggest problems in crafting in most MMOs. Nobody actually buys crafted gear while they're leveling up. There's no value in it because you can just go out and adventure and get it. So everybody's going to buy crafted gear at the end game. That's the part that matters, right? So it's just like, you know, you're going to be leveling up your crafting profession. No, you're not. Your work orders are going to be after you reach the maximum of your crafting profession and potentially have collected 1 or 2 rare recipes. Then you're going to be able to do work orders for people. Like, who the fuck's going to go in there and it's like, oh yeah, I want like some, I don't know, I'm just going to say like some fell cleave boots. Because like there was fell cleave, maybe not cleave, but like some, let's say fell infused boots. Because I'm just thinking about like Burning Crusade, right? I want some Fel-infused boots. It's a green item. Who the fuck is going to specifically ask a crafter to make a green item? Nobody. Nobody. Alchemists sell potions? Not during level up. Are you really going to buy a flask while you're leveling up? Are you going to buy like a healing potion? No, you're... What? Who the fuck buys flasks while leveling up? Now, who uses healing potions? You sold so many during Shadowlands? What the fuck? People use healing potions? Oh my god. Kegrin over here like fleecing the noobs. Warriors can't heal themselves. No, they can't. They don't have to. You sit down and you eat. You kill something, you sit down and you eat. Or you die and then you respawn. There's no penalty. Who gives a fuck? Or you just plays tank. Even when I've played DPS, doesn't matter. Why does it matter? You sit down and you eat. Potions? Potions.
Both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just going to be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful effect at a higher quality.
And we're doing a lot of new things in the UI. We've put a lot of work into it to make sure that the professions feel really special and unique.
And another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is the introduction of stats specifically to your professions, both crafting and gathering. And this is another sort of major input into quality. Probably the biggest source of your ability to craft items at a higher quality is through crafting specializations. We've had crafting specializations in the past, as far back as original World of Warcraft. With Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith, and you might decide that first you want to become an armor smith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing, the better you're gonna get at crafting all armor.
This also means that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So this means that your guild could have several top blacksmiths and everybody's providing something unique and valuable to the team, which is really cool.
Now that reminds me of another update. We're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions. We're gonna take those and we're gonna put them all in the main city of valdrakken. And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're gonna walk into the city and you're gonna see like all these alchemists huddled over here, and you're gonna see all these blacksmiths over by the forge. There will be other players filling orders or grabbing orders. It's gonna be a whole new crafting area that's gonna make you feel really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about though is the gear. We're introducing new types of gear for every profession. And when you go to say mine a node, you're actually gonna just switch into that gear. It's gonna be really great.
You're not gonna have to carry that stuff around in your backpack anymore. There's actually gonna be dedicated slots for each of your pieces of gear. But I'm a numbers guy, I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we mentioned before on them. And as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really gonna help you get better at your profession.
I can't wait.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store for you in the coming months.
Until then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a fan
While
of...
you were fighting...
Stop. What the hell, Vati? Relax. Like I said, it's like... There's a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense, like the dudes like suddenly awakening with the dragons. The islands have been invisible this whole time. How convenient. And I know that they're like, yeah, because there was this device that was hiding it. It's like, oh, okay. I guess that, Deathwing sundering shit all over the place, that didn't matter. Didn't affect that at all. There's no whatever. But it's like, at the same time, we're going to make a playable dragon race. So that means that if you want to be a dragon, You're going to have to sacrifice the years and years of progress you've made on your main, because with all of this, they did not announce simple things like, oh, if you have reputations on your character, we'll let those be account-wide now. No, none of that. So like all of the investment that you have in your character, the moment you create a new one, all of that shit is gone. It's just gone. It's just fucking gone. And it's like, I can't go back to that because at the same time, they're not even going to make sure once again that every class is viable, because that's always the case. Their fucking balancing is completely atrocious. And a lot of people are going to be like, Rurikhan, why do you care about that? Come on, just play another class. Like, no, I want to play my warrior. And like, that is one of the things that always bothers me, is about how let's add a cool new fucking dragon race. And it's like, yeah, and it's going to be overpowered as fuck in the first 2 months, so that you want everybody playing fucking dragons all over the place. How's it going to make sense when this dragon race is riding another dragon? Aren't they dragons? Or are they going to get the special flight abilities in their flight form? Do they have a flight form? Can they fly? We've seen them glide. They definitely can glide, very much like demon hunters. It's like, I don't... How did Deathwing not destroy that place when you wrecked the world? Shouldn't you have known what it was? You know, you're right. Didn't they say that Deathwing was the one who created the Dracthyr? Didn't they just say that Deathwing was the one who created Dracthyr? I didn't even think about that. He's the one who made them. He forgot. He forgot. Oh no. He forgot. Deathwing's like, I'm gonna destroy the whole world, except this very important set of islands here that are the Dragon Islands. I don't go there anymore. I've made a race of super soldiers there, but I'm not gonna destroy that place. He was busy, okay? Just forgot about it. He forgot about it. But it's like, whatever, at the end of the day, if the expansion ends up being good, great. I highly doubt that like the balancing is going to be anything to write home about. They didn't announce anything that they're doing about add-ons. They're just like, oh, we're going to fix up the UI. Add-ons still going to be there. That means that the raid, mythic rating and heroic rating is still going to be the same shit show it is right now, which... Not to mention the whole presentation in and of itself was extremely disappointing. But again, I wish them the best. I hope that it is extremely successful in a way if it is good. If it is good, I hope that it is successful. But the problem with this is going to be that even if it isn't good, it's still going to be successful. Like, there's thousands of people already swiping to get back into the game.